I'm going to show you how it's done because on Simon of Orange, we don't do scores by half. Welcome wine fans to
Simon of Orange.
This is an exceptionally exciting day. As you can see, I'm very excited. I'm going to do something today on YouTube that I've never done before. If you're excited to find out what this is, don't skip the rest of this video and make sure that you subscribe and like and do all those other things.
Do it now.
Maybe you know, if you've watched some of my videos, that I'm quite passionate about orange wine. You could even say that I'm a bit obsessed about orange wine, which has nothing to do with oranges. So a lot of people ask me, Simon, do you only drink orange wine? Now, I want to answer this question once and for all. Of course I don't only drink orange wine. That's ridiculous. I drink coffee in the morning. I drink water sometimes. I drink beer when there's no good natural wine around to drink. I drink lots of other things that aren't orange wine. So I hope we've got that straight. But I want you to believe me. So today I'm going to taste on camera a red wine. This red wine is actually from a very famous wine region called Bordeaux. Now you're probably going to say Bordeaux is boring, right? And that's not the kind of place that you'd expect to find some funky natural wines. Well, I hear you, but things are changing actually, and there's some fun stuff going on in Bordeaux, and that's why I want to show this wine. So what we have today is a wine from a producer called l'Île Rouge, so the Red Island, and the wine is called Equinoxe. I have to say, I'm not very impressed with the label of this wine. I don't think they spent much money on this. If I looked at this label for a long time, I think I would get very bored. Now, there is some quite interesting stuff written on this bottle, and I'm going to do my best attempt to translate this. This translation, like everything on this video, is going to be quite poor quality because, as I mentioned before, I have a very low budget for these videos. You can help me by subscribing in case I didn't mention that. In fact, my budget is so low that I can't even afford a spittoon, so I'm just going to have to down this wine, I'm afraid. And I also couldn't even afford a glass, so I actually stole this glass from a wine bar in Angers called Le Cercle Rouge. If you're watching Le Cercle Rouge, I'm really sorry, but a man's got to do what a man's got to do. This is tight budget stuff. This guy seems to have a little bit of an obsession with gravity. So there's two mentions here. He says, en cuvée par gravité. So put in tanks by gravity. And then he says again at the bottom, mise en bouteille par gravité. So bottled by gravity. A lot of gravity. Original gravity perhaps. He also says something which I don't quite understand. He says, élevé 18 mois en barrique expérimentée. Now the only translation I can make of this phrase is that it was aged for 18 months in experienced barrels. I damn well hope the barrels were experienced because I paid a lot of money for this wine and I certainly don't want any student barrels that have only been at it for a few days. I really hope these barrels know what they're doing. Let's give it a taste. Oh yeah, and also it says sans sulphites ajoutés. So no sulphites were harmed in the making of this wine. We like that. The thing about Bordeaux, as I explained, it is a big name wine region. So I thought I've got to up my wine tasting. So I am going to use a few more words, long words, complicated ways of describing this wine because that's what you need to do for Bordeaux. Pencil shavings. Yeah, HB2, I would say. Boysenberries. A little hint of ox blood. Not the fresh stuff though, more the dried ox blood. Yeah, a crust of cow pat, I would say, on the end. I like that. I like this note. Continuing the boysenberry theme, soy sauce, or is it tamari perhaps? Bitter chocolate, about 80% cocoa, I would say. Probably grown at about 2,500 meters high. Hint of espresso as well. Actually, double espresso to go. The merest hint, the merest soupçon of insouciance. French insouciance. It doesn't mean anything without the score. And with Bordeaux, you got to go big on the score. Now, there's a lot of wine critics out there who understand about giving big scores. People like
Bobby Parker, Jamie Suckling, Timmy Atkin, James Goody.
these guys know how to score at least into the 90s for wines like this. Noobs. I'm going to show you how it's done, because on Simon of Orange, we don't do scores by half. The score for this wine is 101 points out of 105 points. Some people have accused this channel of being a joke channel. And I just have one last thing to say about this. I hope you understand the gravity of the situation. Okay, are we done? You're not still rolling, are you? Great. Right, let's get some orange wine open. God, that was traumatic.